Hey, brothers and sisters, what's up? This is the Reluctant Nabi back again. Um, views on the news documenting the further decline of the so-called black community and so-called black community. So I wanted to talk about this real quick, and this is in regards to the so-called white woman upgrade myth. And trust me, it's a myth. Anything coming out of Hollywood does not reflect the real world. Understand this. Anything coming out of Hollywood does not reflect the real world. All right. And so basically, what we have here is Nick Cannon, who a lot of people respect his craft. All right. And Hollywood understand this. And so that's why they have him say these ridiculous things as if they apply to Afro men in general. And think about this, even with him, it might apply to him, but not most Afro men in general, period. All right. So basically, what are we talking about? We're talking about the same old white women story upgrade myth that black women have conned them and some of their minions into believing when this isn't how Afro men choose women. Men in general do not choose women that are in the Afro community based on color. Oh, well, how do you choose the women? We choose them based on shape, how fine they look. They got a banging. Add your own lines in here per your preference. All right. That's how Afro men choose women. Oh, yeah. That last one, which is huge. We choose women based on availability. All right. The likelihood we have a chance with them. All right. The likelihood that we have a chance with them. All right. So let's listen to this brother real quick so y'all could get an understanding of what I'm talking about when we talk about these upgrade type issues, right? And this is something from BET, which they BE garbage, you know, they're just trash. Black entertainment trash. That's what BET stands for. All right. So they put this out here, and Nick Cannon believes this that white women are a status of success. But no Afro man that's living in the regular world see this like this. Only Nick Cannon, right? So why do they use him? Well, it's BET. Who runs BET? Oh yeah, black women. See, we don't have. I want y'all to understand something. In the social media and even in politics, for you dudes still voting for the Democrats, who did they have come behind Trump on his Soto? A black woman. They are trying to push the narrative of the destruction of our children and the promotion of the black woman over the Afro men. Who? The liberals. The liberals has always stood for the destruction of the Afro family. Simple as that. All right. And now you have them pushing this narrative. And who's pushing this? Who runs BET? Black woman. I'm just saying, it's a couple of things that's really not lost on me. All right. So this is what he had to say. All right. So this is all the stuff that this dude is kind of, that he got his stuff involved in. So he's also taking Wendy Williams' place for a minute. All right. So he put his thoughts on black men who date white women, which he don't know any real black men. He knows Hollywood men, right? And this is the problem. A lot of these dudes, when they leave the community, and they get involved in that Hollywood lifestyle. And what is true in Hollywood is not true for everybody else. All right. And so basically, what he was saying in an interview, um, that the actor comedian sought to explain why, in his eyes, black women described as the most oppressed and neglected demographic in America, which that is a lie. The black women has never been the most oppressed and neglected demographic in America. Never has the black women been depressed or neglected by the Afro men. However, the other way is true. So why would they tell this lie? Often overlooked by men of their own race. Also a lie, because most marriages that Afro men have are to, guess what? Black women. It's just that they have seen that the black women have made themselves so unavailable that they are looking outside of the narrative. But we had to stick to statistics up on this channel. All right. So all these are lies, and these are outright lies. Right? Now, why do they get him to tell the lies? One, these are statistical lies. Two, these are lies even in law. The most depressed and neglected demographic in America, especially today, is the Afro so-called black man. And intentionally, they are overlooked by the black woman and the Caucasian system. They will end their thing for the equal rights and stuff. They will always hire the black woman over the black men. Remember, how are you the most neglected demographic in America when you're running around saying you're the most educated? How is it that the most educated, the most braggadocious about being the most educated, then turn around and say they are neglected? Who are they neglected by if they are the most educated? All right. They are still shooting more Afro men than black women unarmed. As a matter of fact, black women are able to get money back from the state when they shoot at police armed. You remember old girl? And they gave her money back. All right. Here's the thing. All this stuff is lies, right? But how do they promote the lie? I want y'all to pay attention. They get a Hollywood person to say these things And because he said them, people think that he did some research and this came from research. But this didn't, right? But people are going to take it as a truth because he said it, a black man from Hollywood that's never been back to the hood, really to live. So he don't know why Afro men are suddenly start to pick up Caucasian women. But the people in the hood know exactly why. All right. What the people in the hood understand is that if you want a peaceful life, if you want to have some involvement with your children, if you want to not have just destructive things happen to you or your children, and if you want who's choosing you because you're a good dude, then you go with the first thing that look good that come at you. And in many of these cases is Caucasian women, Hispanic women, or women of other races. All right. What's happening is that black women are losing to people in this thing, not because they're black women. They're losing because of one, how they, as they say, the only teachers in the house have brainwashed their children that white is better because their desire has always been for the white man. So then the child learns by example. Well, if she watches the white people so much, put that white weave on her head so much, and get all this stuff and wear white people's makeup, I might as well get the real thing. All right. Or two, they grow up, man, Shaquita and Renee keep rejecting me every time I want to ask them out. But Becky, she like, sure. Why is it that Becky and Susan always are so nice to me when Shanae and Shaquita is not? They start learning those lessons. If you're dark, the first people to call you a negative name because you're dark complected is a black woman. And those of us that's dark complected, we understand this and know this. And many times it's our own mothers. Then when we go out, we come to find out that Caucasian women really like dark men. All right. Then you have the more sinister narrative that no one talks about. And the reason why they have quotes coming from stars, because if they actually taught you real history, then they would have to teach you that in history, the black women have always sold out the Afro man for the Caucasian man. The black woman always desired the white man because they saw it as an upgrade. Black women have been quoted to having said that it is better to get a broke white man with nothing than a well-to-do black man that's able to provide you an extra home because that broke white man has more connections. In other words, it's not about righteousness. It's not about living a good life. It's not about living happy with the black woman. It's about connections to get up or get something in white society. And they, especially the women running for politics and president and all this stuff, they will sell out the whole community to get a taste of that Caucasian power. All right. What they don't tell you is on like adult sites where black women are humiliated and do it with joy because of the money, and it's not even a lot of money, but it's play for them. All right, when it gets out, they don't understand that how it's become an anti-popular site that most black men are aware that this is what black women are doing, and they see pictures, and these images have run across many of us. So we don't want any group of women that put themselves through that kind of humiliation and degradation. All right. And then they don't tell you that many of these things, these lynchings and stuff that happen to Afro men, many of them, and if you go back and talk to brothers in history, many of them, the black woman was actually sleeping with the members that lynched their husbands. As a matter of fact, a lot of these lynchings came because if that husband didn't do what she said, out of vengeance, she called her KKK boyfriend, and they lynched the husband. How do we know this? Because people are starting to tell the true history of the things that has been going on in the Afro household, the black household, over the history of the United States. I put up a poem by this woman talking about white privilege, which she so eloquently put to verse and defined. But nobody talked about black women accountability. All right, they keep giving us the same old BS. But Shirazad Ali, who carries more weight than Nick Cannon, because she brings with her the history of actual Afro people when she does her talk, says that the black woman has not been the most oppressed in all these things. It has always been the black man, and many times it's been at the hands of the black woman. She goes on to say that the black woman has been the least examined group of people in the United States. Why people lie and say that she's been the most oppressed. She's never been the most oppressed. When white women could not own land during in Louisiana, the black woman could. That was the concubine of the French and the Spanish and other white men that came to Louisiana. Black women owned slaves when white women could not own anything because the property went to the eldest son or the brother, but the next male in that group. But they could will stuff to the black women. All right, black women have always had privilege when the Afro man did not. Black women wasn't buck broke. Many of them were the concubines of the slavers. All right. So when people from Hollywood try to give you this false narrative of Afro history, go to people like Shirazad Ali, who tell you, dang, even Egypt and has woken up. And look at her video, Mammies. I need to look that up and put that in. It'll be in the description box. But what I'm telling you is we don't take anything from people in Hollywood as truth because they don't know history. They don't remember history. And even if they knew history, they wouldn't tell it because it might damage their paper, period. So they're not going to do anything that's going to go against them getting the next big job, being the next this, that, or the other, being the next dude in charge. All right. The higher up they are in the hierarchy of Hollywood and politics, the more of a liar their statements are. And he might be telling you what is true to him, but he knows that Afro men do not choose women based on color. In general, you got some that do, but in general, Afro men look at the body. Period. That's why a lot of these black women are single with a whole bunch of babies from a whole bunch of thugs. And if they had access to Caucasian women that had a banging body, oh yeah, they're going to hit that too. But it's never been about color in most cases. So, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. When you subscribe, click that notification bell. And as always, my PayPal me link is in the description box if you want to help this channel, what it does for the community. And before you do that, just make sure you have your finances in order and you have taken care of your family and your financial status, because these people don't care about what we have to go through. All right. With that said, I'm out. Peace, love, and soul.